Hi everyone, it's Mark here. I'm the founder of the Arts and Culture Network. We're 144,000 strong now across our 8 LinkedIn groups, which is very exciting. But this is the best bit of the job for me. This is where I get to introduce you to one of our full members. Full membership is optional, but that's how we're funded. And Oluchi Igili has joined me today. Have I pronounced your second name correctly?
Exactly.
There
You're
we
very
go.
correct.
Aluchi, thank you so much for joining me today for this. I should point out to our viewers and listeners that Aluchi has very little idea of what we're about to do. So it's going to be good fun. It's always the best way to do it, in my experience. So thank you so much for being one of our full members. It's, as you know, we're member funded. So all of those little £10 a month or £100 a year comes together, and it allows us to manage the websites, host the events, and donate some of that money when we get the opportunity. So thank you very much for that. Now I'm keen for you to introduce yourself to the gang and say hello. Tell us where you're based, and tell us a little bit about the work you do, if you don't mind.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. And thank you, Mark, for having me. It's an honor to be a full member of ACN. I, I think I've been so excited about ACN since I got to know about it. And it's good and it feels very great finally to be a full member, to be recognized and to be a full member. So now talking about what I do, I am a trained theatre practitioner. I had my first degree in theatre arts, second degree in English studies, and my last degree, that's my PhD in theatre arts also. And now I do more of applied theatre, and that's because I was looking for a kind of theatre that will not just be for fun, all for fun, but something that will give back to the society. And so that was what actually drove me and attracted me to apply theatre. And in that area, specifically for my PhD, I majored on legislative theatre, which again was my way of trying to give back to the society in the sense that I come from a country, by the way, I'm a Nigerian. I come from a country where democracy is still very seriously challenged. And I was looking at how I, as a theater practitioner, could give back to my society, could give back to my country by way of helping to strengthen this democracy. And in that process, I came across this kind of theater called legislative theater. By the way, it was founded by late Augusto Boal, who happens to have been a Brazilian, but he's late now. So Augusto Boal founded it. And when I came across it, and I said to myself, wow, this is the kind of thing I think I'm looking for, because when you're talking about democracy, you're talking fundamentally about the laws and about how people participate in laws. And legislative theater is one kind of theater that gives you that opportunity to contribute to the process of lawmaking, not just for the lawmakers to be recognized official lawmakers, but to everyone. So for me, that was a wonderful opportunity. And that's how I think briefly I can talk about myself and what I do.
Well, thank you so much, because it's really important work. You're effectively closing the circle, because for democracy to work, we need to abide by laws which are made by those who we elect to represent us. So you're sort of introducing theatre as a concept and as a vehicle for explaining to people the importance of that process. You elect somebody, they represent you, they contribute to the lawmaking process, and then that law becomes the foundation of that successful democracy. And there are all sorts of things in different societies that can threaten and challenge that as a platform. So it's a wonderful combination of that, the theatre and applied theatre, and you've taken it deeper still into legislative theatre. For many of our viewers and listeners, that will be a new concept. But as you and I both know, the arts have the capacity to inform and communicate in a way that other mechanisms can't. You know, it's all very well producing a brochure or a document, but people remember stories, they don't remember facts. And
Yeah,
so
that's true.
if you're working in that environment, I think that's fantastic work. So congratulations and thank you for the work that you're doing on that.
Thank you so much, Mark.
You're now based, I think, in the Netherlands. Is that right?
Yes, yes, I am.
Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Amsterdam. Right now, I'm a visiting fellow with the University of Amsterdam, which is, of course, where I did my PhD. So I'm still attached there for now as a visiting fellow. So that's exactly what I do at the moment.
That's great. Excellent. Now, wherever this appears, you'll be able to find Oluchi on LinkedIn, and we'll be including in the profile that will accompany this interview links to the work that she's doing so that you can explore more about her, about applied theatre, and more specifically, legislative theatre. So excellent. Wonderful. Now we're going to have some fun now that we've done the formalities. I'm going to create your fantasy cultural year.
Okay.
And I'm going to decide where we go and what you do based on answers to easy questions. Okay.
Okay.
Now I should point out again to our viewers and our listeners that Oluchi has had no warning about what's coming. So it's always the best way to do it because it produces anecdotes, it produces surprises, it produces conversational detours, and some laughs generally. So here we go. Are you ready, Oluchi?
I hope I am.
Okay. So I need to place you somewhere in the world.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that by asking you, what's your favorite building? It can be one you know, it can be one you've loved to see that haven't. It can be anything, anywhere.
I think my favorite building, if I've never really thought of this, but thinking about it now, I think I would love to see what the UN looks like.
Okay, what a great choice. Nobody's ever chosen that before. As a coincidence, I've been asked to be a special advisor to the Arts and Culture Working Group for the UN next year. So
Wow.
I'm going to be contributing on community development in the arts and culture sector, quite obviously because we've got so many in ours. So
Yeah.
that's going to be fun. Okay, so I'd like you to imagine that you're sitting at a pavement cafe within sight of the UN building in New York. In New York. And you're enjoying the sunshine. It's 6 p.m. and on your right is a book that you've been reading or rereading.
Okay.
It can be any book you like. It could be a book that has been with you all your life. It could be a book that saved your life or changed your life. It could be a book that you've discovered recently. Any book you like. What might I find sitting on the table next to you?
Most likely you're going to find a cup of water or perhaps a cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
A book.
My handsets.
What book would I find there?
Oh, book.
Mm.
I thought, okay, you're talking about the book I'm reading.
Anything? Your favorite book? A recent discovery? Or a book from childhood? Or your favorite book? What book would I find there?
You see, perhaps one of the books, a book you're likely going to find with me is one of the books that kind of revolutionized my thinking about teaching and about also theater, which happens to be Pedagogy of the Oppressed.
What was that again?
Pedagogy of the Oppressed.
Okay. Pedagogy of the Oppressed.
Yes.
Let's see if I can find it for our. There we go. There we go. By Paulo Freire.
Exactly.
There. So it's pedagogy of the oppressed. by Paulo Freire, Freire. Excellent. Okay, good. Now you've got water and you've got a cup of tea and it's sunny and you're feeling really quite pleased with yourself because
Yeah.
you have come from a meeting in the UN where the
Okay.
Arts and Culture Working Group have asked to hire you for a year. Okay. They would like you to conduct some research around the world in applied theatre and specifically legislative theatre.
Okay.
To take the temperature of that in the world. You know, where are the hotspots? Where is applied and legislative theatre most popular, most effective? And what are the case studies? Who is involved? Who are the leaders? Okay. Now, it's a very well-paid trip. All of your work elsewhere in Amsterdam is being covered by other people. And you're going to be traveling first class all the way, wonderful places to stay. All you have to do, oh, and there's a TED Talk in it. There is a book deal. There is a TV series out of it. And you're going to then do a lecture tour of North and South America, Europe and Scandinavia, and Africa and Asia and the Far East. So it's quite a big deal, okay? I'm assuming you would find that attractive.
Yeah.
Good. All you have to do is to decide what country and what city you're going to start in. It doesn't have to be New York. It doesn't have to be Amsterdam. Anywhere in the world. If you were studying legislative theatre, where would you start?
I think I would love to start with Brazil because having studied about legislative theater, it's been my dream to get. In fact, I think about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I think I had a plan of going to Brazil, but eventually I couldn't do that. And one of the things I wanted to do was to meet the wife of Augusto Boal. The wife is still alive. So I think in a situation like that, I would like to see where legislative theater started and have the opportunity to speak to the man who innovated, to the wife of the man who innovated legislative theater. So I think my mind will want to take me to Brazil. I would love to get to Brazil. I would love to see where he started, how he started. Of course, I've read about that in books, but then there's something about also seeing it and talking to talking to people who experience it, firsthand. So I think Brazil will be it for me.
Okay. What city is she based in? Do we know?
I'm not very sure, but I think she's in Rio.
Okay. Right. You're on the plane. Okay. You turned left on the plane because you're traveling first class. And the steward brings you a glass of water and a cup of tea, and also a note from Augustus. Is it Augustus or Augusto?
Augusto Boal.
Augusto's wife, and she's looking forward to meeting you. Another message comes from the wealthy the UN working group have said they'd like to do a little bit of an experiment on you while you're doing this study year.
Okay.
They've asked you to limit your musical listening to one very specific type of music, okay, for 12 months, to the exclusion of all else. So what type of music could you listen to for a year?
I think that would be Christian music.
Gospel?
Yeah.
Gospel. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you are. You're traveling. You get to Rio, and Augusto's wife meets you at the airport with your name on a card. You embrace, and there are a group of people who want to support you as you do this introduction during the first week or so. They whisk you into Rio, and you have a lovely apartment that's paid for by the UN. It's overlooking the city, and you can see Christ the Redeemer up there, and the bay and the ocean. It's looking pretty good. So they say, right, settle in, unpack, relax. We're going to take you out to a dance performance tonight, and then we're going to take you out to dinner. Okay. Now, because I have a magic wand, it doesn't have to be Brazilian culture. You can We have a jet. We can take you anywhere for this. Because what I want to know is if you could go to a dance performance for 2 hours and you could have any dancer, living or not, any dance group, any dance style. You're in Rio, but it doesn't have to be Brazilian culture.
Okay.
What dance show would you like to watch?
That's a tough one.
Hmm.
Um, I think I might love to watch dancers from South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not very sure, but I think there's this particular dance type they call Ipitombi. I'm not very sure,
Yeah.
but I think I would love something from South Africa,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah.
I think we might have some music as well at the interval. Ladysmith Black Mambazo would be great as well. The group that Paul Simon worked with. I love that. They're from South Africa.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Excellent. So you've done the show, you've enjoyed it, you had the best seat in the house, and your friends and Augusto's wife, we really should find out what her first name is.
I was told her first name, but I've lost it.
But let me just find it. So how do you spell his second name?
His second name is Boal, Boal, Augusto Boal.
Okay. Her name is Cecilia.
Aha, okay.
There we go. So, and she looks like an amazing woman. She does. There she is sitting in Rio. Let me show everyone.
Okay.
Here we go. Share. There she is.
Oh, wow.
In
She
Europe,
really looks
Bowl
amazing.
became more aware of the subjective aspects of oppression. So in Paris, he started workshops with his psychoanalyst wife, Cecilia, designed to tackle what he called the cop in the head. There she is. Look. And that's Rio. There we go. Excellent. So in my fantasy world, she's along with you. She's taking you out to dinner. Okay. Now, Rio offers national cuisine from all over the world.
World.
What national cuisine would you like to choose for dinner?
That's another one. Perhaps in that case, I might want to remain with my, I think, yeah, that would be, I think I would love Thai rice.
Thai. You're going for a
Yeah.
Thai rice. Perhaps a Thai chicken curry as well.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice. Okay.
Not
Lovely.
necessarily the chicken, but the rice with some veggies.
Okay. That's yours. There we go. Now, the next day in Rio is sport day. Okay. We had breakdancing in the Olympics. So some sport constitutes performance art. Skating, for example, ice dancing. What sport would you like to watch for a couple of hours on Saturday?
What sport? What sport? What sport? Would there be swimming?
Yes, you
Oh
can do
yeah, I would
swimming.
love swimming.
Swimming. Okay. And if you want, you can go and swim in the ocean.
I don't swim, for your information. I don't know how to swim, but I love watching swimming.
Okay. We'll go and watch some swimming, some open water swimming in the bay. There we go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, there is a new digitally enhanced art gallery in Rio, which allows you to put on a pair of virtual reality glasses and
Okay.
step into the work of a famous artist. It's 360 degrees, it's animated, it's three-dimensional. You can step into any painting by a famous artist. Whose work would you like to step into?
That might have to be Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Starry Night. And
Yeah.
yeah, lovely. That would be a trip, wouldn't it? That would be a whoa. Hang on. Right, that's it. You got to explore Van Gogh from the inside. Excellent. Now I've flown out to meet you, and we're going out every night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Monday, we're going to a pop or rock show. On Tuesday, we're going to a theatre play.
Okay.
On Wednesday, we're going to a musical, a Broadway or a West End musical. On Thursday, we're going to the opera, and on Friday, we're going to the cinema. Okay. And then you're going to start your year of travel. Now, I have a magic wand. I can put anything on those stages for you. What pop or rock show would you like to go to?
Oh, wow, that's where I'm gone because
It could be a
I have no
jazz,
idea.
a historical performance, any singer, any pop band, any rock band. We can travel back in time. What would you like to go to?
The point is, Mark, my knowledge of rock is, I should say, new.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that we go back in time, and we're going to see Paul Simon with Ladysmith Black Mambazo,
Okay. Okay.
probably the Graceland album, which is wonderful. I think you'd enjoy that. I've never seen him, so I'd like to do that.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite theatre play?
Favorite theater play do I have? Hmm. It's difficult for me to choose because no, no, that's difficult. That's difficult because a lot of choices are competing in my mind.
Absolutely. What would be a good introduction to applied theatre for me, if you were to take me? What play?
For applied theater, a good introduction. Yeah, because the way applied theater operates, it's not necessarily texts, published texts, but what you have to work with at the moment you create. So is they are not most of the time they are not published. So I don't know. Um, but then perhaps I might want to take you also to some of the things I have done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember a particular instance where we did something about waste management and the effect of people throwing things on the roadside, and into the gutters and all of that, especially during the rainy season, when in some parts of the world people see that once it is raining, that seems to be the opportunity to empty all the rubbish in the
Oh,
house and just pour it on the street, you know. So we had to do something around that to educate people on the dangers of doing that, you know, that this is not healthy. It doesn't, you might think you're emptying your house of all the garbage, but you're causing a bigger problem for everybody, not just for yourself, but for everybody. So, I mean, perhaps we might want to see something like that to just get to know what kind of things we do. Again, because we had to link that to the effects that such an act will have on the climate, because I mean, this is something that is not healthy for the climate. So perhaps there might have to be some discussions around that, and you probably will love it.
I love that. There is apparently somewhere out there in the Pacific Ocean a plastic island floating, isn't there?
Yeah.
Where the currents have just brought all this debris together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's huge. It's the size of London or something, you know.
Exactly.
Crazy. Excellent. I'll enjoy that. Thank you. What about a musical? Past or present, West End or Broadway?
Perhaps I'm not sure this is not entirely a musical, but is something I've always loved. Western, of course, that's what do I call it now? It's not entirely a musical, it's a drama mixed with music. That I'm talking about Sound of Music.
Yeah, that's been on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sound of Music. The Hills Are Alive. There we
Yeah.
go. Excellent. Um, and are you an opera fan?
Sorry,
Are you a fan of opera?
not exactly.
then I shall suggest that we go to the opera to see Puccini's Tosca, which is my favorite.
Oh, okay.
And we'll have Antonio Papano conducting.
Okay.
That will
Okay.
be a great introduction to opera. And then finally on Friday, we're going to the cinema. What film would you like to watch with me?
Mm. Which one now? Which one now? Which one now? Could you suggest? Maybe I go with
Yes.
your choice again.
The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. It's
Okay.
very few people know of it. It's an
Okay.
old 19 sort of 50s, 60s wartime saga about this chap. It tracks his transformation. It's just wonderful. So the life and times, I think it's the life and times, or it might be the life and death, but of Colonel Blimp, Blimp. I love that film, and I think
Okay.
you would too. Now we're nearly there. Okay, so I've flown back. But I've given you one hero day. Okay, before you start your year. So this is the last question. I'd like you to imagine that I've booked a restaurant for you in Rio. Okay,
Okay.
and you can choose. You can invite anyone you like, living or not, and they will come. Now, it doesn't have to be Augusto or his wife.
Yeah.
It can be if you wish, but it can be anyone you like.
Okay.
Who would you choose?
Hmm. Would I choose? Would I choose? Would I choose? Would I choose? I think there's a Nigerian I would choose.
Okay.
Yeah. I would choose a Nigerian in the person of which one of them now? Okay, let me go with a contemporary personality in the name of Peter Obi.
Peter
Obi?
Obi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you heard about him?
No, I'm going to find him on Google and find out. Peter Obi. So we can tell our viewers. Is it OBI?
Yeah, Obi.
There he is. A Nigerian politician and businessman who was the governor of Anambra State under President Obasanjo. Yeah, there he is. Let me just share this so people can see him. There we go. There's Peter.
Yeah.
Excellent. Nigeria must become a nation where safety and justice prevail over violence and lawlessness. May God grant the departed eternal rest and give their families. That's the recent post. So, excellent. There we go.
And the reason is because for me, he represents the change we are looking for in Nigeria.
That's a great person to invite. That's really good. There you go, Oluchi. That's your fantasy cultural year complete. Did you enjoy your trip?
Yes, I did. I really did.
So you carry on, and you've put together some great content for the TED Talk, the TV series, the lecture tour, and the book deal. So it's all
Yeah.
there. So there we go. This has been a lovely way of introducing you to everyone. So thank you so much for sparing the time and being a good sport.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's been my pleasure.
It's been lovely. Thank you so much. And thank you also for being one of our full members.
Thank you. It's actually my pleasure.
Thank you very much, Oluchi.
Yeah. Yeah.